This is Express Written Consent. I am JB. Wil Wheaton.
Hello.
Having a seat in the Klondike Suite. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, man. I'm really happy to be here.
Now, the word on the street, it's where I get all my information.
It's a good place to go dig up words.
It's better than Wikipedia.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
About the same. You're a Dodgers fan, but for real.
I've been a Dodger fan my entire life. My family actually has, my personal family history is interwoven with the Dodgers all the way back to 1955.
To 55?
Yeah,
okay.
So my great-grandmother was on the board of Parks and Recreation and was part of the vote that put Dodger Stadium where it is today. And,
really?
Yeah, and my great-grandmother, for history fans, it was Dorothy Morton, or she better known as Mrs. Harold C. Morton.
Okay.
And my family has actually had season tickets 3 rows behind the Dodger dugout.
Wow.
As long as I can remember. I pretty much grew up in this stadium. And it wasn't until I was 10 or 11 years old that I figured out that Vin Scully came out of all the radios that were all over the place. I just figured, oh, that's the voice of baseball. Yeah. So, like, that is, you know, the way that someone growing up in Chicago would think of Harry Carey as the voice of baseball. Uh-huh. Vin Scully is very much the voice of baseball for me. And it's weird coming to games now and not hearing him out of the transistor radios everywhere I go.
It's pretty wild, right? But
yeah.
If you're going to get stuck with the voice of baseball, you pulled a pretty good straw on that one.
Right? It's pretty good. And the last time I actually saw the Yankees play here in Dodger Stadium was in the World Series.
Really? You were here?
Yeah. My dad brought me to a game, and the only thing I really clearly remember about that game is that I had a really bad ear infection.
Oh.
And the noise really hurt my ears.
Oh. But
you
stuck it out.
But of course I did.
See.
It was the World Series.
That's amazing. See, that's
I was
a fan.
like 6 or 7 years old.
Who was your favorite player at the time? Do you remember that? Were you like that? Or
I loved Bill Russell and Davey Lopes. My dad was a huge Ron Say fan.
Okay.
Just like loved the way he ran. My dad was constantly talking about Ron Say when I was a kid.
All right.
And then I was exactly the right age for Fernando Mania.
Oh, wow.
So that was a really great time. And more recently, I love Kershaw, and I finally got to meet Chad Billingsley after a taping of Big Bang Theory last season.
Okay.
So that was pretty exciting for me.
Wait, how did that? What was that? Were they related? Or it just happened to be timing-wise? He wasn't on the Big Bang Theory with you.
No. I had just finished an episode. He came to a taping of an episode that I was in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, is that Chad Billingsley? And most of the people, not as many Dodger fans in that stage as you would think, because not a lot of them are from L.A.
And the Big Bang Theory, you did several appearances. Your character was, in fact, Wil Wheaton.
That's right. Yeah. I call him Evil Wil Wheaton.
Evil Wil Wheaton.
Because he is a delightfully evil version of me. But in the script, I play himself. But we all call him Evil Wil Wheaton.
Evil Wil Wheaton?
Yeah.
Did they approach you? Did you approach them? How'd that work out?
Steve Malaro and I had been talking. He's now the showrunner, and he was one of the writers at the time. Malaro and I had been talking on Twitter just about how I was a fan of the show. And he emailed me, and he said, hey, I'm a writer on the show, and if you'd like to ever come to a taping. And I said, I would love that. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
And I traded a couple of emails with him and was trying to figure out when I'd be able to actually get there. And around that time, I got an unrelated email from Bill Prady's assistant. Bill Prady's a co-creator of the show and executive producer. And she said, Bill would really like to talk to you about coming down to actually be on the show. And I thought that it was one of my friends pranking me. So I just forwarded the email on to my manager, and I said, I'm pretty sure that this is bogus, but would you vet it? And he did, and it was legitimate. And then I called Bill, and Bill was like, so here's what we want to do.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, and I've been very lucky. They've had me back a number of times, and they always make me feel like I'm part of the family when I'm there. And
That's great.
It's a one. I'm really proud of the work that I get to do on the show. I absolutely love the cast and crew that pulls that whole show together. And I'm hoping, we'll be starting up the next season in just a couple of months.
That's fantastic.
So I'm really hoping I get to go back and do more.
It's worked out pretty well. I think the audience is a pretty big fan. Because here's what I want to try to – I tried to put together some sort of comprehensive idea of what people are doing when I have to sit down and talk to them. So I tried to put together a comprehensive idea of what you're doing. And here's what happened. I ran out of hours in the day I was like, okay, so there's 16 hour, and there's 18, there's 24. Then he does Twitter, and then he's a voice actor for games, so that's 29. He's got a podcast and a blogger while the books go out, but the books go out on his own label for a while, but then they come back, and then he goes out on his own. So that's 32. So roughly you've managed some sort of 32-hour day.
Well, I am a wizard from the future. And I have an army of clones.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really great. Every now and then one gets out, and we have to terminate it. But generally speaking, the clones are a good thing to have.
They're clones. Yeah, come on. They know what's coming.
Yeah.
The clones know what's coming.
Yeah. They're very, very useful.
Let's say, of all the work that you are doing and all those things, the podcast, the blog, the author, voice acting, the Twitterverse, the tabletop show, the guild, is there any one of them bringing you more satisfaction right now, or is that what's bringing you the satisfaction, is that whole array?
I just love that I can make a living being creative and doing things that I love, and that I get to share these things that I love with so many people all over the world. I'm really, really proud of Tabletop because it's my idea that has been brought to life with the help of some really talented, really wonderful people. And we're sort of bringing gaming to the world in a way that nobody ever did it before.
Yeah. Now, for those that don't know exactly what Tabletop is or where it is, do explain.
Tabletop is a show that I co-created with Felicia Day. It runs on her channel, Geek and Sundry, on YouTube. It's at youtube.com/Geek and Sundry. The concept of the show is we get together with interesting people we know from TV and movies and music and writers and the internet, and we play board games. And then we just sort of have a really good time doing it. And it's a real good way to introduce people to board games. It's one of my lifelong passions and hobbies. Yeah. And I wanted to do something that would let people who are in, I'm in a mixed marriage, I'm a nerd and I'm married to a muggle. And I sort of thought that if I could do a thing that could let gamers show their non-gaming partners why we do what we do and maybe put more gamers into the world, then that would be, on balance, a really good thing.
I think it sounds like a great show, and I think maybe, someone who might be on the show that'd be good might be like a host of a talk show on the internet that happens on a sports website that maybe has baseball.
Do you know a guy?
I might be able to get a hold of somebody.
Listen, if you know a guy and you want to just send me an email or something
like that. We'll fire up
an
email on that.
Okay, that sounds great. Olbermann's on the internet now, huh? What?
Yeah, Will. Yeah, he is. So, Wil Wheaton, everybody.
Evil Wil Wheaton.
Evil Wil Wheaton just showed up. This one is Wil Wheaton.
That's right.
Evil Wil Wheaton is in the house. We're going to have nice Wil Wheaton play Start Bench Cut. Start Bench Cut. Picard, Janeway, Kirk.
I'm starting Picard, I'm cutting Kirk, and I'm benching Janeway.
Done. With authority.
Yeah, because blood is thicker than everything else.
Love it. You're a huge video game aficionado. We all know that. We're very excited about that. Start Bench Cut. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga.
I'm going to cut Donkey Kong because I cannot get past the 5th level in Donkey Kong no matter what. I'm starting Galaga because if it's 3 shots on a screen Galaga, I can actually play until I'm bored. And I'm going to go ahead and bench Pac-Man because I think he's just earned a rest. I want to keep Pac-Man rested for the postseason.
Excellent strategy.
Yeah.
All right, we've talked about your many varied sundry skills and attributes. Start, bench, cut. Video games, role-playing games, comic books.
Oh, that's terrible. Why don't you just ask me which of my children I want to drown?
Well, because that would be awkward.
That's horrible. Video games, comic books, or role-playing games. I'm going to start role-playing games. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is awful. This is the worst decision I've ever had to make.
That's the premise of the show.
I'm going to start role-playing games and retire.
Oh, wow.
No, I won't cop out. I'm gonna bench. Okay, I got it. I'm going to start role-playing games. I'm going to bench comic books.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut video games because I play video games for story.
Okay.
And I I should theoretically be getting the same sort of emotional, rewarding story experience out of playing a role-playing game that I get out of the video games that I love.
Well done.
And I'm going to go ahead and give comics a break, and comics will be there when I'm done with my role-playing game.
There you go. Look at that. You worked it out. It wasn't.
It's not that hard, because there are a lot of video games that I really dislike.
Yes.
So it is easy for me. If I can just cut all the Black Ops players forever, like that works out really well for me.
Then you're done.
Yeah.
All right, finally, Start Bench Cut. You were on The Big Bang Theory. We hope to see you on that show again.
Thanks.
Well, evil Wil Wheaton.
Right.
Start Bench Cut the following 3 theories.
All right.
The theory of general relativity.
Yep.
Heisenberg's uncertainty principle theory.
Yep.
And superstring theory.
Well, each theory is dependent on the other. You cannot cut one of those without everything falling apart. I suppose,
theoretically, that's true.
I suppose I would start superstring theory. Because if superstring theory can be proved, then the other two would actually sort of be wrapped up inside of it.
Well done.
I would have to, I would bench Heisenberg's uncertainty principle because I could tell you where it is or how fast it was going, but not both. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut.
Maybe you should
bench it.
Maybe you should cut Heisenberg because you don't necessarily know that he's actually cut.
Yeah, that's true. I could try to cut. The thing is, it's impossible to cut the uncertainty principle because I could like figure out where to cut, but not when to cut.
He's already on the bench.
So we would have to bench that, and then I guess we would cut general relativity. Whew. Wow, thanks for making me tear the universe apart.
We'll be okay. We've got the superstring holding it all together.
I guess we got to hope that the string theorists are correct. Come on, Dr. Kaku, don't let me down.
That is the best. That is the best Start Bench Cut we've done. And about 30 of us will get it. That's fantastic.
That's where the little sliced Venn diagram, like you've got the sabermetricians, right, who probably overlap a lot with baseball fans, right? But then you also have the science nerds, and there's that little tiny slice in the middle that's all of us together.
We're going to get
we can share
Start
that
Bench
space.
Cut 3 physics theories. Yeah. I love it. It is now time for Wil Wheaton at the mic, and we got a pretty good batter up.
Uribe, I'm surprised that Pettit's still in. We're in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, there you go.
Uribe, first pitch swinging. This is going to come down to drop short in left field, but the left fielder is there to pick it up with a diving, rolling, really wished he'd missed it catch. Yeah, that was actually quite an athletic play. I thought it was going to drop for a single.
I like that it was a completely objective call. There was no homerism to it at all.
I think it's very important to be objective, especially when you're playing a team that you really hate like the Yankees.
Really? Is that just born and bred from your experience watching them play?
Listen, there's no team in the world that I hate more than the Giants, and that's because when you cut me, I bleed Dodger blue.
Okay.
The steamrollerism of the Yankees throughout the 90s was just tough to watch. And one of my best friends just loves the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work out exactly?
I say the Yankees suck, and she goes, yeah, you're right. And I can never get a rise out of her. But they're kind of like the Manchester United of baseball, and I'm just like, ugh, enough. Anyway, here's Ellis. 0-1 is the count. Ellis swings at the second pitch. This is coming in center field. It's going to drop for a base hit.
There we go. A.J. Ellis aboard. He's a great asset to this organization.
Boy, he really, really is.
He's like one of the underspoken success parts of it.
Yeah, everybody is going on and on about Puig this year, as well they should, because he is just a powerhouse. I mean, what's it say on the score? But he's batting .372 at the end of July. Yeah. And I think my friend was telling me that if he gets a hit in his first at bat, he's something like .750 for that game. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, Ellis is great. I'm a big hockey fan, and you have to build your team out, right? And you absolutely have to have all the pieces working together.
Yep.
And it's been tough to be a Dodger fan for the last 10 years or so because we just really haven't had all those pieces together. We had a couple of superstars that I think were playing for the name on the back instead of the name on the front, and I think that wasn't necessarily good for baseball in Los Angeles.
Right.
They're no longer here, and I feel like this team is starting to come together again in a way that we haven't seen in a really long time. I mean, the Dodgers are looking playoff competitive for the first time in a long time, where like objectively I can look at the numbers and I can do the math and think these guys have a good chance of getting into the playoff rather than just seeing the game with my heart.
Come on, Dodgers!
Yeah.
No, this one it's a good club. All right, well done on the mic.
Let's see if we can knock Pettit out. I think we're going to knock Pettit out now.
All right, are you ready for some start bench cut, or do you want to call another one?
Well, let's see if we're going to knock Pettit out.
All right.
Yeah.
Call this one up then.
Yeah. So Hairston is in for Greinke. Righty batting 248. We've got a runner on first. Pettit delivers, and that's low for a ball.
Hairston, another one of those guys on the roster that's just been an asset for the club.
Yeah.
Just come off the bench, knows how to play, great, positive person.
Everybody who grows up in Los Angeles sort of expects every walk-off to be Kirk Gibson. Hairston tried to check. Wow. Pettit just pulled the bottom out of that. That was a really nice pitch. Looks like Hairston's getting some instruction from the third base coach.
All right.
Yeah, that's the second ball from Pettit. Pettit has seemed to really struggle in this game. He had such a rough first inning, and I heard Vinny saying that his ERA in the first inning is like 7.5 or something like that. But you know what? Look, Pettit is 41. I turned 41 yesterday. Pettit's had a good run.
He is out there.
There's some fouls off. 2-2.
Pettit's one of those remarkable stories. You look at him out there at the age he's doing. He has labored, but he's putting the team, he's giving the bullpen a shot.
Yeah.
And Hairston wants the same thing you do, which is Hairston wants to be the guy
wants to knock him out, yeah.
You get back on the plane in New York and think about me, Andy.
Yeah. Well, I think that if the Yankees had been able to get another guy on base, I think Pettit doesn't pitch this inning. I think that they definitely go to the bullpen.
I think one of the amazing things about being at the ballpark and watching baseball is that so much is simply anticipation.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. I can't watch football. It bores me to death because it's so start and stop. I love soccer. I love hockey. But I'm crazy about baseball. And I think that a lot of that's going to be a shallow fly ball. Darn it. 2 away. So I can't. The thing about baseball is sitting there with my scorecard and figuring out. All right, I guess I'm going to manage from the seats and try to decide and see what we're going to do. Let's play a game.
Let's do it. It's now time for 3 Up, 3 Down with Wil Wheaton.
Right.
I will bring up 3 topics. You will lay down 3 baseball terms. We've laid those baseball terms in front of you.
Right, I've got them.
Can you read those for the fans at home?
Yeah, we got nibble the corners, go the distance, in the gap, choke, cut off, MVP, defensive indifference, money ball, and fan interference.
Those are the terms. Wil Wheaton, are you ready for 3 Up, 3 Down?
Yeah.
Here we go. One of your earliest major roles was obviously in the Rob Reiner film Stand By Me.
Yep.
What was that experience like?
That experience was that experience nibbled the corners.
In what way?
Well, when you're nibbling the corners, nobody quite knows where to swing the bat. Nobody really knows what to look for. And that movie took everyone by surprise. We all knew that it would be a good performance, but, when the whole thing was put together, but none of us were prepared for it to become the enduring classic that it has become.
All right.
I mean, I guess I could put it in the gap, too. Maybe I'll put it in the gap, because when you put it in the gap, you generally score. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the gap instead.
Okay, you're going to change it from the pitcher's point of view.
The
offensive point of view.
Yeah,
Legit.
that's right. Okay, yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
You were, topic number 2, you were one of the first major players in the Twitterverse. Why?
Why? I'm gonna have to talk this through and get my way to it. So I started using Twitter because I thought that it was a fun, silly way to just be ridiculous and amuse myself and extend what I was doing with my blog.
Okay.
By the way, that's Jeter going 0 for tonight.
Are you okay with that?
I'm really okay with that. That delights me. That's Jeter going 0 for to end the inning. That's probably the last we have to see of him tonight. I'm very happy about that. So for me, Twitter is going the distance.
All right. Ironic for a small, short, medium.
Yeah, right. But I've been there since right around the beginning. And I think one of the reasons that I've been able to go the distance on it is that I refused to let anybody tell me what was the right way to use Twitter.
Awesome.
I just wanted it to be fun and silly and informative and just always interesting to me.
Fantastic.
And as long as it stayed like that, then I felt like I was doing the right thing.
Fantastic. And finally, 3 up, 3 down, the third topic. You are now author, blogger, podcaster, actor, voice actor. All of it seems to have come together. Where are you right now in your creative life?
Right now in my creative life, I'm hitting the cutoff and hoping, really, really hoping, that we can get the ball to home plate and stay in this game.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. Every day of my life, I'm afraid that I'm going to wake up from the incredible dream that I'm living right now. And I think, the overriding kind of theme behind my life is how grateful I am for the opportunities I have and for the work that I get to do. And I think when you're a right fielder and you see that guy breaking, rounding third, and and it's in the 11th inning, and you just got to think, I got to hit that cutoff guy.
Love it.
I got to hit him,
and
I can't mess this up. So that's sort of where I'm feeling right now.
And it speaks to teamwork too, which is important. I think it's what we get about you. Wil Wheaton.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.